my actual eyesight. Is there the high drive? Deep center. Go, go, go. We're out of here. We're out of here. Say ya, playa.
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A gold pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our first softball broadcast of 2024 is here, and it is from Blackwood, where we were on Saturday for a doubleheader between Union College and Camden County College. We're on the same campus, just covering a different sport. The SUNY Orange Colts are here today from Middletown, New York, coming down for a doubleheader in the non-conference slate opener for Camden County here in 2024. We got to talk to Coach Chip and Coach Highland, the two head coaches of these ball clubs, and for two teams in the JUCO scene who neither of them broke 10 wins in 2023, SUNY Orange is already off to a bit of a head start. They just came from Southern Maryland. They have played 5 games in total this season and are now looking to play their first game in a very similar conference in the NJCAA Region 15. We've got 2 starting lineups today, starting out with SUNY Orange, again, as led by John Rywalt and assistants Glenn Connolly and Larry Stewart. The starting 9 is going to be Dawn Grover in center field, as to be followed by Melanie Merton, number 12, Gabriella Olivo is the shortstop. It's going to be number 24, Gianna Coletti is the pitcher on the hill, batting third in this one. Batting in a cleanup spot, at first base is Lindsey Keene. At the 5th position, behind the plate, is going to be number 7, Jaylee Ramos. As the DP player is going to be number 4, Molly Martin. In right field is going to be number 25, Madeline Brennan. At second base is going to be Arizia Kloon. And then the 9-hole hitter will be number 18, Nicole Imhoff. The flex and left fielder is going to be number 15, Melanie Merton. For Camden County College this afternoon, it's going to be Amanda Olson in center field, batting leadoff. Isabella Boyle at shortstop, batting second. Helena Collins behind the plate, batting third. Victoria Delorio is the third baseman, batting in the cleanup position. Maggie Ralston will be on the hill, batting fifth. Julia Maldonado will be at first base, batting sixth. Felicia Casciminto is going to be at second base, batting seventh. Sinai Stafford is going to be in right field, batting in the 8th position, and Alexis Cobb will be in left, batting in the 9th position. They will not have a flex player this afternoon. We were waiting on an umpire to show up, but it looks like 1 out of the 2 are here. We're just waiting on the second one to arrive, and when we have more information, we'll let you know. We'll put these names down in the book, and we'll be right back after this. SUNY Orange and Camden County softball coming right up. Well, they're moving quick here on opening day. They are anxious, and they cannot wait a minute longer to start this 2024 season. Maggie Ralston on the hill this afternoon. The battery mate behind the plate is going to be Helena Collins, number 33, who is batting in the 3 spot. Camden County, 7-25 last year. SUNY Orange, in the same number of games, they were 9-23. And for Camden County and for, Coach Chip, Coach Ritamo, and, everybody on this crew, they don't have any prior history with SUNY Orange or with, they call it Orange County Community College, but it is a sub-campus of the State University of New York. And the first batter this afternoon is going to be number 5, Dawn Grover. Now, we did see a SUNY affiliate school back in October when we were working with Salem Community College over in Jackson at the Great Adventure Ballpark, as there is a first pitch strike, and we are underway in 2024. The right-hander Ralston delivers. That one is high at the letters, 1-1. The wind is really bad, and as an insult to injury, it is blowing straight out into center field. So we might see some high-scoring offense. It almost feels like gale force winds, and you could see the dirt kicking up a little bit in the infield as well. These guys, you see, honestly, a lot more home runs in softball than you do in baseball, and you see a lot more high-scoring games from my experience. But who knows? These two teams are playing a blank slate. For SUNY Orange, this is their 6th game of the year. Count us 3-1, by the way. As the sun is peeking out over the infield and is about to reach us, Ralston delivers. Swing and a miss. Good pitch there, and it's going to make the count full. They swept Monroe College of the Bronx in 2 5-inning mercy rules on March 14th. And there, it's strike 3 outside corner. Dawn Grover is retired, and there's one away for Olivo, the shortstop. Remember, this is 7-inning games, just like baseball at the collegiate level. Of course, those are also doubleheaders for baseball. But the thing is about collegiate softball is that in JUCO baseball, where there might be a 3-game series, every single set of a college softball schedule, at least one in, a community college setting like it is with Camden County and even with SUNY Orange, all of them are doubleheaders. You will not find a single standalone game on the schedule of SUNY Orange or of any other program. Basically, everybody plays 1 day, 2 games each. Little floater out towards third, the first time somebody's made contact today. It's 1-1. I mean, I'm not saying that as a knock, but just nobody's lifted their bat off the shoulders yet. So it's Grover who struck out, Olivo, and then Ketletti, Gianna Ketletti, the pitcher and 3-hole hitter for the Colts. 1-1 count from Ralston is a swing and a miss on a fastball upstairs. And it's 1-2. And the 1-2 just missed at the knees, just a hair low, and it's 2-2. Yeah, the sun has been poking in and out. A couple of formations of clouds have been coming through, but a very cold day here on this Tuesday afternoon. And a swing and a miss. Throw down to first is in time. There's 2 away, so 2 up, 2 down on 2 strikeouts. And here's Ketletti. first three for Camden County. In the bottom half of the first will be Amanda Olson, the center fielder, Isabella Boyle, and Halima Collins. There's a ground ball sharply out to short. Throw to first is in time. 3 up, 3 down for Camden County in their first inning of the year. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Cougars get their first chance. Back in the bottom of the first, here between SUNY Orange and Camden County College, as a 1-2-3 frame for Maggie Ralston sets up the first batter of the campaign for the Cougars. It will be the center fielder, Amanda Olson. Ground ball, and at the last second it gets whistled foul. Something a little interesting, the pitcher and first baseman are wearing orange jerseys. Everybody else is wearing navy blue. I think they're wearing like some sort of jacket, but it's supposed to go under the jersey. You know, like I see all the time players wear hoodies under their jerseys. Like, that's pretty commonplace. I just haven't seen multicolored jerseys in the field. That ball is a foul ball. It's off of Camden's third base coach. And it is 1-2 to Olson. The delivery just missed. 2-2. So we got word on just this afternoon that the doubleheader for softball versus Dutchess Community College of Maryland has been postponed to a date that has an existing conflict. So we will not be there on Thursday. So our next broadcast after today won't be until Friday. We have a special event on Wednesday, and that'll be something that we will post on our social medias about. It's not a broadcast, but it is broadcasting related. Ground ball out to third. That one is bobbled, and that's going to stay in the infield. And Amanda Olson has a base hit. They threw back to first to try to catch her napping, but she gets in there safely. So that will be an infield single for the center fielder, Amanda Olson. Good reaction time, though, in the infield for the Colts. keep the runner at bay and make sure no silly business goes on, as here's Isabella Boyle. Shortstop here for the Cougars. Like we said, neither team broke double-digit wins last year. Camden County went 7-25. SUNY Orange went 9-23. But this, for SUNY Orange, is their second year under John Rywalt. He has been involved with Orange County in New York for almost 30 years. That one's fouled back. Caught by the catcher, but that doesn't count, unfortunately. That was a good rebound. 1-1. Tapper foul over towards the Colts dugout, but the SUNY Orange staff is really defined by Stacy Morris, the Hall of Fame coach that won over 300 games during her tenure at SUNY Orange. So these guys have been in a little bit of transition. John Rywalt and Glenn Connolly, an assistant coach for the Colts, have both been assistants under Coach Morris. As there's a strikeout for Boyle, and here is Collins. So here's Helena Collins. Catcher behind the plate here for Camden County this afternoon, with a runner on first and one away. Taps this one in front of the mound, but it rolls foul. 0-1. After this will be Victoria Delorio. But yeah, we'll have scrimmage baseball between Audubon and Enfield, Connecticut on Friday the 22nd. That's a 4 o'clock start. Tapper in front of the mound. This time it's fair. They throw to second for 1, and there's a collision at the bag. The second baseman got her legs taken out from underneath her, that being Clune, and it will be a fielder's choice. So Olson is retired, and Collins reaches first on a fielder's choice. So there's 2 away. That was kind of a weird play. It just looked like the infielders didn't communicate, and with Olson sliding in there, in a cloud of dust, just kind of had her legs taken out from underneath her. Obviously a scary scene with that rough dirt. You want to make sure that you're protected. So Victoria Delorio, the third baseman and cleanup hitter for Camden County this afternoon, in a scoreless game in the bottom of the first with a stiff wind still blowing out to center. Popped up and foul over towards those Blackwood trees down there. 0-2. Yeah, there's still no leaves on the trees to kind of dissipate the wind or anything, and it's 48 degrees. Real feel is actually 42 because of those stiff winds. As here's a fly ball popped up. It is a foul ball down the left field line. And it's 0-2. Skips in. And going down to second will be Collins. So she gets in there without issue. And that puts a runner in scoring position for the Cougars. Still a 2-strike count against Delorio. The cleanup hitter here for the Cougars, trying to get a run in the first. Outside. Just missed on that one. It's 2-2. Right behind us is Polk Hall and the Cooper facilities here at Camden County College. And the pitch. This one's hit well, way up there, Out towards left, nobody sees it. Scoring is Collins, holding at first with a throw down to get the runner from behind. Delorio gets in there safely, and on an outfield miscue and a stiff wind, that's an RBI single for Victoria Delorio that makes it 1-0 Camden County. Talk about a late rally to get a run on the board. Even if this is the only run you score this inning, it's still a nice achievement. You know, you got that single. Olsen got thrown out at second base, the strikeout. You know, it looked like SUNY Orange was going to hold him at bay, and then just that little miscue in the outfield can have catastrophic tendencies. There's a pop-up at second base and take it in. Side is retired. After 1, Camden County gets a run home, but that's all. 1-0 Cougars. Top of the second inning here from Camden County. Five batters came up to the plate. 1 runner scored for Camden County in the bottom half of the first. And a 1-2-3 frame for Maggie Ralston. Sets the stage for the cleanup hitter in the Colts order, that being Jaylee Ramos, the catcher. Misses high, 1-0. Skips in, 2-0. Two of SUNY's 3 wins this year. They actually started off the year 3-0 with 2 decisive wins over Monroe College at the Bronx. And then they split their doubleheader on March 16th versus Middlesex College. They won Game 1 8-6, lost Game 2 3-2. And then they got swept by the College of Southern Maryland, where they were on the 18th. So Ramos will get on base. Or I apologize, I skipped a batter. That is Lindsey Keene, who walks. Now Jaylee Ramos is at the dish. The left-handed hitting catcher here, to be followed by designated player here as, wow, a huge huge chunk of sand comes flying up. And it's not going to the side. It's going straight into the outfield. So if these guys have power in their bats, they can 100% tag together a couple of home runs and make this game quite the high-scoring affair. I mean, I remember I've had a couple of high-scoring games. We had one game during a travel tournament between the South Philly Pirates and the I believe it was the Aston Valley Braves in a Mid-Atlantic tournament. There's a strike, 1-2 to Ramos. I know the one that I'm talking about, the Aston Valley game, that was 13-12. Game went extra innings. I believe it was the last game of the day in the tournament, and it was a 10U tournament that we were at, because that one's outside. South Philly was up 9-0 going into the bottom of the 6th. Now remember, Little League only plays 6 innings. So they came back, scored 9 runs in the bottom of the 6th, tied the game, sent it to extras, and then Aston Valley won on a walk-off single. Popped way up behind the plate. Nobody knows where it went, but it takes a sharp turn and goes out of play. Again, we see this effect with Wrigley Field and anywhere in Chicago. It certainly feels like Chicago right now, but these guys are all over. I mean, you could probably hear the wind slapping against the mic. There's a swing and a miss, a nice pitch to get Ramos chasing for strike 3, her 3rd strikeout of the day. Here's Madeline Brennan. I apologize, I skipped over one more batter. So now it is Molly Martin with Brennan, the right fielder, on deck. This is the DP, or designated player. Remember, in softball at all levels, this is one of the fundamental differences between softball and baseball, is that you can have a flex player in your lineup that can play in the field but does not grab a bat. In the case of SUNY Orange, this is number 15, Melanie Merton. She is listed as the 10th hitter, but she will not grab a bat. They play the DH. So, like, the pitcher, Catletti, will bat, and the DH, or DP in this scenario, they just call it different. Martin also bats, but there is a player in the field who will not grab a bat and will instead just be a field-only player. You don't have that in baseball, where the left fielder just doesn't swing. You have either the DH or the pitcher. You don't really have both. And I know it sounds almost condescending to people who really do know softball to their core, and they're like, yeah, of course I know what a DP is. I didn't know what it was until last year. And I am still relatively new to the softball scene. We're covering games here for Camden County. We've got a couple more for Salem Community College this spring. That will be a walk to Martin. As now, we've got Madeline Brennan. So yeah, I didn't know. The first time I did a softball game, maybe I should have done my homework, but I looked at the DP and I'm like, what in the world is that? Where's the flex coming from? I remember in old Little League baseball games, there would be like 12 players batting in a lineup, but a ground ball back to the pitcher. Retires Brennan, but moves both runners up and puts 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away. On a 2-3 sacrifice bunt, moves Martin to second, moves Lindsay Keene to third. And here is Aricia Clune, the second baseman, and the 8-hole hitter here for the Colts in the top half of the second. There's a fly ball out to deep left field. That is going to drop, and it gets called dead. It's a foul ball. Had some distance on it. And now everybody's going to have to head back to their respective bases. If the inning were to continue here, Nicole Imhoff, the number 9 hitter, would be next for SUNY Orange. They had a 1-2-3 frame in the top half of the first, and now Camden County in a little bit of trouble here in the top of the second. Here's the 0-1. With 2 on, 2 out, swing and a miss on an off-speed. Good pitch there from Ralston to get ahead in the count, to give herself the edge. With 2 outs, 2 strikes, 2 on, and a 1-run game here in the top of the second. Ralston stares down home and delivers. Fly ball popped up. This one's going to stay in the infield, and it is out of play. Inside at the knees. 1-2. Ralston has been good at getting out of these jams and just, in general, working efficiently. And I think the first pitch strike has been a big part of her game. As here's a ground ball staying in the infield, but it gets booted. It stays in the infield, and both runs score. 2-1 SUNY Orange. A big blunder in the infield as everybody was trying to back up each other at once. It ends up leading to disaster as just everybody was trying to move and nobody was moving in the right spot. There was a blockage at second base as Boyle, the shortstop, made it all the way to where the second baseman would usually be. And now that both runs have scored, that'll be scored as, I guess, an E6, even though she was way out of her position. It just seemed like a log jam gone wrong, and both Keene and Martin come around to score to make it 2-1 in favor of the Colts of Orange County. This one gets skipped into dirt. Throw down to second is going to be just a little late, and Clune gets down to second base. So here is Nicole Imhoff now, rounding out the order for SUNY Orange with a runner on second and already 2 runs allowed in this inning. I was going to say, I thought that the first runs of the game would have come on a home run or something like that, but these guys have struggled to hit the ball out of the shallow infield dirt. And not to say that is a fair judgment of how they play. I mean, you know, softball just happens to hit more home runs. But a lot of it has to do with your conditions and where you get it from the pitcher. You know, you got to remember that ball is traveling a shorter distance to reach home plate. Baseball, it's 60 feet. Softball, it's 46. So even though people want to say softball is easier, it's actually harder because you're having a smaller reaction time to see the ball. But that's going to retire the top of the second with SUNY Orange up 2-1, 4 strikeouts on the day for Maggie Ralston. We'll be right back. 6 hitters came up to the plate for SUNY Orange in the top half of the second inning. And now we go back to Camden County here as the number 6 in line is going to be Julia Maldonado, the first baseman here. 6, 7, and 8 for Camden County as SUNY Orange took the lead on a 2-run error by the shortstop, Boyle. First pitch is called a strike, 0-1. Line shot to first, and that's caught, went away. Here is Felicia, excuse me if I butcher this, Kachenmeister of Medford. Strike called, the ball pops out of the glove of the catcher. So now I feel like we've got a transition going on here. A couple of players have now switched or have taken off their upper sweatshirt and now are wearing the normal orange uniforms. Third baseman, first baseman, pitcher, and second baseman. All 3 outfielders still have it, but I didn't even know that was allowed, that you could just kind of wear a garment over the jersey. I mean, I understand no problem with it because it's keeping you warm. There's a foul ball by Kachenmeister. 0-2. But I remember there was a college football game about 10 years ago. It was Florida A&M. They had all white jerseys with white numbers and a black outline. It made it very difficult to see. And I believe they were playing Miami. I think this was from like 2015 or whatnot. But because it was an illegal jersey from NCAA rules, actually, here's a fly ball out towards right, playable, and a nice basket catch in right to take it in. Very, very nice play out there to take care of business. Take it in by Brennan. Again, people would probably write that off and say, hey, she didn't have to make that catch. But given the conditions of the wind, I'd say that that's impressive. If she had to make basket catch, then she did. Simple as that. So Kachenmeister is retired, and here is Sinai Stafford, the right fielder, with a 1-1 count. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Side is retired. 2 strikeouts for SUNY Orange. We go to the top of the third. Moving quickly here. 2-1 Colts. Top of the third. 2-1 SUNY Orange. As every run in this game has kind of come under scrupulous circumstances, if you will. First run of the game came on a fly ball that was not handled properly in left field by SUNY Orange, and so Camden County had a 1-0 lead, and then 2 runs came across to score on an E6 by Camden County. Now that first run by Camden was not scored as an error. It was scored as an RBI single by Delorio because, I mean, yes, you could call it an error, but that wouldn't be following the letter of the law because the ball would have to hit either the person or the glove or some other accessory of the player to count as an error. So technically, if a ball goes right to the shortstop, there's a swing and a miss. You know, like let's say theoretically, ball goes right to the shortstop, but they like take a step away and don't pick it up, and it just goes in the outfield. They didn't touch the ball, so by the rules, it doesn't get scored as an error, but because of the situation of that play, that was scored as an E6. Floater in the left, that is a base hit for SUNY Orange. Ball almost got away from him in the infield, but Dawn Grover turns the lineup over with a base hit. Yeah, it looked like Ralston was off to a good start, and not to say that she's not, but definitely have seen just a little bit of intensity from her under pressure. You know, the biggest thing that she needed to do in the second inning was to lock down and force an out to get out of the inning. Oh boy, look at that. Ball went into the infield and the throw went nowhere. So that will be a bunt single for Olivo. And that'll be an E3. That moves Olivo to first, Grover to second. And now this brings up Gianna Catletti, the pitcher, with 2 on, nobody out, trouble for Camden. That one misses inside. 1-0. Next time we'll be back here at Camden County College will be Saturday for a doubleheader between the Bergen Community College Bulldogs and the Camden County Cougars. 12 and 3 are the projected start times for those games. That'll be on Saturday, March 23rd. And then we'll be back with more softball action. Not here, though. We'll be down at Pennsville Little League for the Salem Community College Mighty Oaks versus the Northampton Spartans. That'll be another one. I believe the start times for that are 12 and 2 on Sunday the 24th. There's a strike. 2-1. So as this lineup is turned over, the top of the order has done the heavy lifting. 2 singles to start the third frame. Line shot, that goes into center field for a base hit. Ball is bobbled in center. Grover rounds third. She will score. RBI single for the pitcher, Catletti. And it's 3-1. You heard that from one of the assistant coaches for SUNY Orange. Way to find a way. 3 straight knocks for the Colts. So Olivo moves to third. Grover scored. And now SUNY Orange has a 2-run lead. Still with nobody out, and that's going to be 4 in a row. That goes into center field. Picked up. The ball almost hit the runner at second base. Scoring is Olivo, and it is 4-1. That puts a second runner on base on the single by Lindsey Keene. And the top 4 hitters in the SUNY Orange order have all gotten on base to start this third inning, and that will make it a 4-1 game. Just seemed like she was working so well to start the game. Had a very, very clean and very brief, quick first inning. Took care of business, and then just SUNY Orange did not take long to figure her out, and then it kind of unraveled from there, but she's still got a chance to make it right. Maybe if she can get a double play here, or at least something to kind of, put a little tourniquet on the wound. I mean, I'm not saying that this game is out of hand by any way. It's the top of the third inning, and it's a 3-run game. But you have to be thinking long term. You have to think, what if these guys string together a couple of more hits? What's going to be the plan? What if you stop them? There's a pop-up behind the plate. Collins went for it, but it is foul. You have to kind of be thinking long term in these situations, maybe as an infielder or an outfielder. But here's the problem, though. When you're the pitcher, you have to think short term. You've got to have the brain of a goldfish, and that's not even an insult. You just have to have a very short memory. Those 4 hits that she gave up, she has to forget about all of them. They almost did a secret tag behind the runner at second as Catleti was taking a big lead. But it is a 3-1 count. You've got to be thinking very short term here. You got to think those 4 hits, put them behind you, just focus on the task at hand. That's the advice I've always heard, from pitching coaches and at any level, whether it's baseball or softball or anything. At any level, the biggest thing you have to be is an anchor, and you've got to just have a short-term memory and put any ripples in your performance behind you. Popped up, left field side, that ball will drop. Going to third is Catleti. They're going to try to get a force out. They do not get it, and a bloop single makes it 5 in a row for SUNY Orange to get on base, and the bases are loaded. So 4 base hits out of the 5 by Grover, Catleti, Keene, and Ramos. And a lone E3 by Olivo have kind of sent this game into overdrive with the bases loaded, as a infield mound visit will happen here for Camden County. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Drive into success today by having you or your child take the road test at Harper Driving School. Visit them today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Experience in Pittman, right off of Lambs Road. Ask for Tim while you're at it. Great fellow over there at Pittman, Tim Rue. Good friend of our crew. First pitch misses to Molly Martin. Bases loaded, nobody out. Camden County 1 hit away from being in serious trouble. That one misses high. Collins looked to pump fake like she was going to make a throw. And it's 2-0. There's a strike. And now you use that as a turning point. You use that as your base of your momentum to say, okay, you're back in it. Just finish the job. But she's got a lot of work to do. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2 runs allowed already in this frame. Misses in. I mean, I'm not a softball coach by any means, but I think your approach right here just has to be plain and simple. Don't throw too many off speeds. Seems like the fastballs have been much more effective at getting strikes. She's just got to throw it down the pipe and see where it lands. Like that, there's a foul ball going over into the forest. And the count is full, 3-2. We've said before that the pure warning sign of a game getting out of hand is a bases loaded walk. Well, we'll see if she can avoid that moniker right here. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Ralston. 1 away. So Martin is retired, and this brings up Brennan. Madeline Brennan grounded out to the catcher in her first at-bat. up high. Looks like she got a piece of it. And actually, that got a piece of the umpire. You heard the ball hit the mask. And we had a similar scary situation on Saturday when the home plate umpire, or excuse me, the infield umpire, got hit in the head with a line drive during the doubleheader between Union College and Camden County. And actually, it looks like that ball may have hit the catcher, not the home plate umpire. Both took their mask off, but I think that they are checking on Collins just to make sure she's okay. And Chip Retano came out there and went out to talk to her, just making sure that she's okay to continue. Got to take head injuries very seriously. There's a swing and a miss. They threw behind the runner, and that was almost a disastrous mistake if that ball went into the outfield. It just seemed like somebody wasn't ready for it. And it's 1-2. But if the top of the order does this much damage, we'll see if the bottom of the order can hold that same weight. And it's 1-2. Camden County looking to get their groove back, down 3 with a half-hearted swing, popped up and caught. 2 down. We'll talk about what a turnaround this would be. You give up 5 straight hits / 1 error, and then you follow it up with a strikeout and a fly ball into the infield. Now Clune, who drove in the first 2 runs for SUNY Orange, has a chance to put some more on her resume this afternoon in Game 1. Swing and a miss on a fastball. You can see just that cloud of dust popping up from the infield. I mean, the wind is just relentless. These guys have had a good opportunity to make themselves shine. And now they're looking to officially complete a comeback here. It's a swing and a miss. Just seemed like whatever hiccup she had, she has beaten it. And she is about to complete it. I mean, how about this to stop a bases-loaded jam and hold the offense to a minimum? There's a swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts. Excuse me, that's 6 strikeouts for Camden County and for Ralston as the top of the third comes to a close. 2 more runs come across for SUNY Orange, but now they are going to use that momentum, and we'll see if they can power back. They're down by 3. SUNY Orange leads by 3 here in the bottom of the third as a big spot for Maggie Ralston after allowing 2 runs and getting the first 5 batters for the Colts to reach base. She stopped them in order with a strikeout, a pop-out, and another strikeout, her 6th of the day, to get out of the jam and only allow those 2 runs. So 8 batters came to the plate for SUNY Orange, but only 2 runs scored. That's actually the minimum amount that could have possibly scored with 8 batters. So considering the alternative and considering how much more the damage could have been for the Colts, that's a pretty good trade-off to have. But now it will be Alexis Cobb. Takes outside. Left fielder here starting off the 9, 1, and 2 frame here in the bottom of the third. It'll be Cobb, Olsen, and Boyle. Outside, 2-0. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Well, if you're SUNY Orange, the last thing you want to do is replicate the mistakes that Camden County made. A little floater foul over towards the batting station down there, and the count is full. It's like we said, Cobb, Olsen, and Boyle. Collins, the 4th in line in this frame. I mean, Camden County, they've had a force to be reckoned with at the top half of the order. Bottom half in this first rotation hasn't had the same strength, but a fly ball to right, taken in by Brennan. 1 out. So Cobb flies out to right, and here's Olsen. She singled in the first. She was subsequently retired on a fielder's choice later on in the inning. There's a fly ball deep to left, but somehow, despite my eye test, it stays in the park, and it's a routine fly out, 2 away. I don't know what it is with my style, but I have seen so many times I think the ball is just going to fly. But of course, when she hit that was when the wind was dying down and she didn't really have anything to show for it. So a fly out to left for Olsen brings up Boyle. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. After this game, SUNY Orange will head right down to Salem Community College. They play them for a doubleheader tomorrow. They've got actually 6 games in 3 days. But that's a pretty normal workload for softball. I mean, it sounds crazy, but there have been teams who have done triple headers in like these, what do you call them? The showcases and everything like that. Like we covered Salem Community College. They played 2 games in a day, and they had played a 3rd game the day before in Jackson that we covered. So we covered 3 Salem Community College games in 2 days, and that was the one game that we had covered. Now in that, I believe it was the Grand Slam Elite Showcase in Jackson that we had covered. They played a good 3 or 4 games throughout the day in the fall. I mean, this brand new complex in Jackson at the Great Adventure Complex, it's huge, but we'll talk about that in a minute. A big strikeout for SUNY Orange and for Catlett. That brings it to the end of the third, 4-1 Orange County. It'll be Imhoff batting for SUNY Orange in the top half of the fourth, as Camden County looks to rebound here just about midway through game one. It'll be 9-1-2, the same as it was for Camden County in their half. Imhoff, Grover, and Olivo. Here's a bunt back in front of the mound, and the throw never left her hand. The ball actually went backwards. It kind of slipped out of her hand, but that is going to be an infield single. I'm not going to score it as an error, but again, my scoring is not official. My ways of scoring can be a little bit different, but Grover, Dawn Grover, is now up at the dish. The leadoff gal for the SUNY Orange club struck out looking to start the game and then singled, later coming around to score in the third. She bunts, but the ball skips into home. The throw down to second, standing up and safe is Imhoff. You could tell she just was very thrown off guard by that gust of wind. It just kind of caught the softball and took it for a ride. It actually really, really affected the trajectory of the pitch, which might be affecting her more than usual. I mean, you know, she's a freshman here at Camden County College, and what's important to know is, you know, that she's pitching in her first collegiate game. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet a little bit. Like that one just tried to go a little bit higher than what she wanted, and that one skips away. So a wild pitch moves Grover all the way to, Imhoff all the way to third, with a 2-1 count now to leadoff hitter Grover. Here's the 2-1. With a runner on third, SUNY Orange looking to get yet another run on the board. Takes a strike. That's exactly where she wanted it, right below the letters. Little floater caught at the mound, and there's one away. Here's Olivo. She struck out her first time, reached on an E3, and then came around to score. She was the second of those two runs that scored in the third. That one skips in. Throw down to third behind the runner, and she's safe. Ralston, the alum of Sterling High, had a 2-flat ERA in 2023 for the Silver Knights. Also had 1 homer, 6 walks, and a .211 average at the plate in her senior year. Pitched in 14 innings, allowed 4 runs, all earned, and 27 strikeouts. So she's been a strikeout gal for a while. 78 career strikeouts across 3 seasons at Sterling. Team that went 16-8 in 2023, lost in the South Jersey Group 2 semis last year to Haddon Heights. And for my hometown of Audubon, played them 3 times and went 2-1 in those appearances, including a 5-0 shutout back on May 3rd of last year. 1-2. Up, and that's going to miss. 2-2. But Sterling has always been a very respectable program. They also lost in the South Jersey Group 2 semis in 2022 to Cedar Creek. Went 11-5 in 2021. they've been a very consistent 12 to 20 win team for the longest time. Popped up. Who's got it? It's caught by Ralston. That's 2 away. The last time Sterling softball was actually below 500 was all the way back 10 years ago in 2013 when they went 9-13 in that campaign for the Silver Knights. There's a strike to Catletti. This one's popped up again, way up. And it is caught. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 4-1, SUNY Orange. Bottom of the 4th. SUNY Orange back on the hill. It'll start with Collins, followed by Delorio, who has had the lone RBI for Camden County this afternoon. Collins hits one sharply out to short, picked up. Can she beat it out? She will not. One away. 6-3 ground out. And Collins 0 for 2 on the day. And here is Delorio. Had an RBI single in the first. Has not batted since, but this is the 3rd time around in the order in game 1 for Delorio. There is a strike. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Catletti has been working strong. Only that 1 run allowed and 3 strikeouts to her name this afternoon. That one is hit well, but it's going to be popped straight up. It is caught in right. A nice catch by Madeline Brennan. She's had a couple of good plays out there today. And there's 2 away. It's very important as an outfielder is that you've got to be able to adapt really to any circumstance, and these guys have been chocked full of curveballs all day just because of how strong the wind has been. First pitch ground ball to third, picked up, throw across is trapped and scooped up by the first baseman to retire the side. 4 innings through out of the 14 we're going to play today. 4-1. We'll be right back. SUNY Orange leads 4-1 going to the top of the 5th inning. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center, the place to be to keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic products available, not just food, but toys, cages, accessories, and more. Visit today 7 days a week at 612 Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, or visit online anytime at exoticpetsnj.com. Maldonado will lead it for Camden County in the bottom half of the 5th, but for now, we turn it over to Lindsey Keene in a 4-1 game that has been a little bit different than what we expected. We thought the wind was going to play a bigger role, and it has played a big role, but not in the way that we thought. You know, we were going into this game thinking these guys are going to score double-digit runs. There's a line drive into left field. That one's going to go past Camden County's left fielder, and holding at second base will be Keene with a leadoff double. Got past Alexis Cobb. That wasn't really her fault, just kind of sliced into the corner. Now with that runner on second, the ball skips in, goes through the 5-hole of Collins, going to third. Now is Keene, so a very quick and hot start to the 5th. For Ramos now. One-0. Ooh, nice pitch there. Just kind of skipped in. Just kind of floated in there, really. Outside. (2-0) to Ramos. That one misses. 3-0. Be glad you guys are watching at home. It's It's quite brisk out here. Although, as I say that, the sun is starting to come out again. Some pockets of clouds in the sky. There's a strike. Three balls, two strikes. SUNY Orange with a runner on third. Popped up foul. Oh, that actually hit the top of three cars. Vince, I don't think that was your truck. It hit a Jeep. Although you said you parked further down.
Yeah, I'm all the way at the end.
You're all the way at the end. Because you're a sucker for walking. Fly ball foul. I mean, my car is behind me, but somebody would have to hit a ball 400 plus feet over the grass and across the street to really have a chance. Speaking of, there's a fly ball out to center, and diving can't get there. Scoring and getting now to second will be Ramos. RBI double. 5-1. So Keene got in back-to-back doubles. And she just gave the thumbs up out there in center field. They're going to have a mound visit, but they're also, Chip is going to come out and check on his center fielder, Amanda Olson. Right in front of us here, you could see she dove and kind of took a hard fall. I mean, in the cold grass, especially since it hasn't rained for several days, it's going to be a very dry surface, and just the way she landed, she kind of just flopped on the ground. So I think she might have just had the wind knocked out of her, to be honest, but she's being checked out, just making sure that she's okay. I think it's just one of those situations where you just gotta let it breathe a little bit. I've had a couple of those situations myself when I played, but that's always tough. You know, you put 110% out there to try and make the catch. And a nice check up there to make sure that she was okay. So it seems like after a bit of a scare, they're able to at least laugh it off now. So Ralston now. So after the center fielder gets checked on, and Coach Chip just said something from the dugout, but I don't think it was anything of a complaint. So it looks like after a brief delay, they're ready to get back going again after back-to-back doubles, and here is Molly Martin in a 5-1 game in favor of the Colts. The bunt skips off of the knee of Collins, and moving to third is Ramos. So almost a deja vu situation of the last at-bat, with that runner on the double now advancing to third. The umpires are talking this one over. I'm not sure what the discussion would be. I was going to say the ball skipped off of the catcher's equipment, but that still is a live ball either way, so I'm not sure what the discrepancy was, but I guess they just wanted to confirm the situation. Still 5-1, 1-0 count, bunting. This ball stays fair this time. Throw to first. There's two people covering, and nobody makes the play. Sinai Stafford has it. Now the relay back in. sends Martin all the way to third. That scored another run that makes it 6-1. So I apologize. They skipped over, or at least if my math is right, because at third now is Madeline Brennan. So I think what they did is they skipped over her and they went straight from Ramos to Brennan. So I don't even know what you call that, because nobody was... I mean, it's one thing if nobody's covering a base, but when two people cover the same base and they're just not communicating, that can be a big mistake right there. And it led to another run scoring, as now the bunt stays in the infield, but it goes foul. I mean, excuse me for being a little critical, but it's just, I think what Camden County needs here is just communication. Talk to each other. It's the same philosophy as baseball, where these people need to talk, whether you're in the infield or you're in the outfield. And the Colts are just taking advantage of it. And kudos to them. At the letters, they're going to throw back to third behind the runner. They've done that a couple times today, and that has been a very risky move. But luckily, they keep the ball in the infield. I think that's one of those situations where it's honestly high risk, but do we really think the reward is that great? I mean, every out is valuable in a 7-inning game. And what's incredibly important here is the philosophy of just getting the job done and doing it on your own terms. I mean, Camden County's roster is not all that great. And I'm sorry. In size, is not that great. As there's a fly ball out to left. Making the catch and now scoring from third will be Brennan. So Cobb makes the catch in left, and it is now 7-1. What I meant to say was, it is not incredible in terms of the size of the roster. You've got your 9 hitters, and then you've got one person on the bench, and that's Echeverria. So Camden County is kind of like this rebuilding program where they have, everybody kind of has to fend for themselves. And pretty much everybody here is going to be playing all 14 innings no matter what. SUNY Orange, they don't have that much larger of a roster. They only have 13 on their listed roster, from Clune to Brennan. But both of these teams are small junior colleges that, look, we said it before on the broadcast, neither of them cracked double-digit wins last year. Camden County had 7, SUNY Orange had 9. One with one away. 2 runs have already scored this inning. Keene and Ramos have already scored. Ground ball, that one goes into left field for a base hit. So Clune gets a single. And now we go back to Imhoff. Imhoff 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single to this point. But it's 7-1, and Orange County has made a name for themselves. They've shown that they can play on the road. Look, they came back from a unfortunate sweep versus Southern Maryland. So a quick meeting here between head coach John Rywalt and the umpire, who has now delivered a communication to Chip Rattano. Possibly pinch hitter. That would be my guess. I can't see the batter's jersey number, but I know Clune is on first. We'll let you know. Foul back. And yes, it is a pinch hitter. Michaela Mason is pinch hitting for Imhoff. And that is not the flex hitter and the left fielder. That would be Melanie Merton. Ground ball back to the mound. Throw to first is a little low, but the job is still done. And that is a 1-3 ground out. Out number 2. Well, you heard it from the dugout. There's another pinch hitter. So that's how we got our news, from chanting the player's name in the dugout. That's Julia Sorrentino hitting for Dawn Grover. There's a ground ball foul down the right field line. So Julia Sorrentino here, she'll be put into the leadoff spot after replacing Grover. 0-1 count, 2 outs. There's a ground ball. It skips into center field. It almost hit the runner, that being Clune. She'll come around third. She will score, and it is 8-1 SUNY Orange. RBI single off the bench, Julia Sorrentino. And that brings around yet another runner, the 4th run to score this inning. But that was a very close call, and they might call it, I was going to say, if the ball hits the runner, then the runner would be out and the inning is over, but they are not going to call that. So it is 8-1. Popped up, back behind the plate and foul. Oh, 1. Big swing and a miss. Gabriella Olivo still up here at the dish with a 4-run frame for SUNY Orange. And a swing and a miss. It's going to make it an even 7 strikeouts for Camden County this afternoon. We go to the bottom of the 5th. SUNY Orange jumps out to a big 7-run lead. I feel like it dropped 20 degrees since we went to commercial break. Oh my goodness. Whew. We are all bundled up here in Camden. Bottom of the fifth. SUNY Orange put up a 4 spot in the top half of the fifth, and now Camden County looks to respond. They had the early lead on an RBI single from Victoria Delario. But now it is Julia Maldonado, the first baseman, who fouls it over towards the Cougar dugout. Steps back in, and we'll get the 0-1. Strike 2. Off speed, misses out. 1-2 to Maldonado. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Camden County in the bottom half of the fifth. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout there. One away. Remember, these guys are running out of outs a little bit here. You've got a lot of ground to make up. Gianna Catletti has only allowed that 1 earned run. Has a total of 4 strikeouts on her resume. And a ground ball out to first. Picked up, and that'll be a 4-3 for the second out. As Katchenmeister is retired. Here's Sinai Stafford. That one misses. There is a strike. 1-1 to Stafford. She struck out in her only plate appearance of the afternoon, with Alexis Cobb on deck if the inning were to continue. 1-1. Called a strike. 1-2. Outside. Two. Strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Catletti, and the side is retired. We've still got 2 more frames to play in Game 1. Orange County leads by 7. Top of the sixth inning is in order here from Camden County College in Blackwood, New Jersey. If you're watching from home, good. It's just about 40 degrees, maybe a hair over 40. It certainly feels like 40 with the winds. I definitely thought, we were talking about earlier about how the wind was going to play a big role. I honestly thought it was going to be playing a role in that you'd see a lot of home runs. We were going to see a lot of offense from both sides, but that hasn't really been the case. We've seen more offense from SUNY Orange, but some of that has been because of miscues and just, not great management on the bases and taking care of the traffic. We saw that very clearly in the third as there's a line drive out towards left, speaking of, but that is going to be a foul. Like I said, I'm not trying to be overly critical of Camden County, but just right now I think in their first game of the season, they're just trying to figure out some of the ebbs and flows of the game. Here's a fly ball, hit well, but playable in center, calling for it, and making the catch is Olsen. One away. So here is Keene. Keene has reached base all 3 times with a walk, a single, and a double. She has scored twice. Another one popped up and caught out there at second by Ketchenmeister. There's 2 away. So here is Ramos. Ramos at the plate, 2 for 3. With a strikeout, a single, and a double. There's a strike, 0-1. Popped up again. Oh, a big collision, but the ball is caught, taken in by Ketchenmeister. And again, you didn't hear a single peep in that middle infield, but luckily for them, the ball is caught and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 8-1 Orange County. First pitch for Camden County in the bottom of the 6th is foul. It'll be Alexis Cobb, Olson, and Boyle. There's another strike. It's very quickly 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Cobb 0 for 1 in this one. Has only had the one at bat and now swings and misses. One away. 6 strikeouts for SUNY Orange in this one. And for Catletti. Now we go back to the top of the order with Olson. 1 for 2, singled, and flew out to left in her 2 appearances. Bounces in, just had a little too much break on that one. The count. SUNY Orange up comfortably here in the 6th, and a ground ball skips past the mound, goes into center field. A base hit for Olson. And she gets the second base hit of the day for herself. And here's Boyle, the shortstop. She has struck out looking in both appearances for herself tonight. Strike 1. Outside, they throw behind the runner, and she's safe. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Line drive out to short, picked up the underhand throw, and she gets the 1 out but nothing more. So the fielder's choice gets Isabella Boyle on first, but Olson is retired for the first out, which brings up Collins. Lena Collins reached on a fielder's choice. Has been the only run to cross home plate for Camden County. There's a rocket in the left field. That's a base hit. Holding at second and being called safe is going to be Boyle. So a 2-out single keeps the dream alive for Camden County. As here's Delorio. She has had the only RBI for Camden County this afternoon. She's going to try to add another in this one. Foul. Took a big swing there. And it's 1-1. Don't forget, we've still got another game to play this afternoon. Another 7 innings here. I mean, although first 5 or so innings of this game went by pretty quickly. fly ball deep down the right field line, but it gets caught in the trees, and it is foul. It's kind of weird how that ball just, it like hit one of the top of the tree branches and then just very slowly trickled its way down and made it back to the ground without being lost in the woods. 1-2 pitch. Way high and outside. That's going to move both runners up. Boyle takes a lead off of third, but retreats. And a wild pitch. A big not a mistake yet, but it could turn into something big if Camden County can get something going here. Boyle on third, Collins on second, 2 outs. In the bottom of the sixth, Camden County trails by 7. That one misses outside, and it's 3-2. Probably their biggest chance yet to make a difference and to try to cut into this lead a little bit more. But what's important for Camden County is if it's not going to get out of the yard, they've got to string a couple of hits together. Here's a little floater calling for it, and the ball is caught and barely hanging on to it at short. That was extremely close. Man, whew. A pop-out caught by Olivo, and the side is retired. We go to the final frame of Game 1, 8-1 in favor of of Orange County. SUNY Orange up by 7 runs going into the top of the 7th inning. What should be our final frame in Game 1. Still will have 7 more to play. After that, we'll take a quick break and we'll kind of readjust for Game 2. And I think Camden County is certainly going to want to readjust for Game 2 as well. What's going to be important for them is, I think the biggest problem has been a lack of communication in the infield and outfield. We've seen a couple collisions. We've seen a couple plays where 2 people are covering the same base. And, this happens a little more commonly because of a junior college, just because of the sheer nature of these guys don't get to spend 4 years together building that chemistry. A lot of these players, when they had their first practice, maybe about a month ago, that probably was the first time that they knew each other. If it weren't for travel tournaments or, if they were high school teammates or if they were friends, for a lot of these girls, it's like, the concept of everybody playing together is a little new. So you have to learn the nuances of everybody, It's not like you're playing in an all-star game and you don't need to know the person next to you. You don't need to know them very well because it's just a one-off event and it doesn't matter. But when you have to buckle down for a whole season, and really grind for 30 to 40 games in a college softball season, you've got to know everybody. I'm not saying these girls don't know each other. I'm saying that, you know, the morale on the team kind of gets reset every year, and that's just what happens at junior colleges. You know, at 2-year schools, 2 years is a very short amount of time. If you've got half sophomores and half freshmen, well, after 1 year, half the team leaves. And you've got to fill those gaps. You've got to recruit. You've got to find new people. So unlike a 4-year college, you know, these rosters are turned over almost entirely every year. And if not for sure, every 2 years. Which is not a very long amount of time to get to know people and build that kind of chemistry. That's strikeout number 8 for Ralston. First out of the inning is Martin. So here's Maddie Brennan. Technically 0 for 3, but she reached on E3, came around to score. That was that one play where 2 runners were covering the bag, but yeah, like I said, you know, you see sometimes in these all-star games, you see people make more fundamental mistakes just because of the people around them. It's not because of an individuality, it's because of who they're playing around, and, you know, the first baseman might not know the second baseman very well, and it's very important, you know, in a stick and ball game like this, that it's important who you know, and it's important who you're familiar with. And there's simple cues and nuances and intricacies. That one misses. Count is 3-0. Game 2 is scheduled for 5:30. Again, I mean, we've been going on for 2 hours and 6 minutes. First pitch was at 3:25. Right now at 5:15, we are sitting on just shy of a 2-hour game for 7 innings, which honestly for softball is a little bit longer. There's a walk to Brennan. Here is Clune. Yeah, I mean, softball is a little bit of a faster pace than baseball. You see a lot more, you know, kind of slap base hits on the first pitch, and you see a lot more efficiency. I think both softball games we covered last year for Audubon in the regular season versus St. Joe's of Hamilton and Collingswood, they were both under 2 hours for 7-inning affairs. There's the 0-2. Foul. And we covered Audubon softball again in the playoffs. Those games were just a smidge over 2 hours, but you deduct 5 minutes off of pregame and postgame, and the actual time from first pitch to the final pitch is probably under 2 hours. It's my guess. That one misses. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 1 runner on. And that's strike 3. 2 down. Strikeout number 9 for Maggie Ralston, who had 78 strikeouts in her high school career over at Sterling. now has 9 in her collegiate career. Pop fly, left field side. Look out for the first row of the grandstands, and that one is foul. Very active street behind us in the winding roads of the Camden County College campus. Popped up, seen a lot of those today, and that one is also going foul. 0-2. In the bottom of the 7th inning, it will be 5, 6, and 7. With Ralston, Maldonado, and Ketchermeister. For Camden County, that one misses high. Holding it first is Brennan, 1-2. As we said, Camden County's doubleheader versus Dutchess has been postponed to next Tuesday. It was supposed to be played on Thursday the 21st. And a rocket foul. Still 1-2. Eight 1 in favor of SUNY Orange and the Colts. They get set for a doubleheader with Salem tomorrow. That's strike 3. Double digits in 7 innings for Camden County's Maggie Ralston. She has her first 10 of her collegiate career. We'll be right back. 3 more outs for SUNY, and we'll be done game 1. We'll be right back. This broadcast is brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement. Make your dream kitchen come true today with excellent kitchen cabinets and wholesale countertops at heavily discounted rates. Visit today, 612 Creek Road in Belmar, next to Route 42 on-ramp. First challenge is going to be the pitcher, Maggie Ralston. One misses low. 1-0. 10 strikeouts for Ralston in her collegiate debut for Camden County class of 25. Oh, rocket in the center field. That's a base hit. And she gets aboard to potentially start a rally in the bottom of the 7th. Snaps the offer and now is 1 for 3 in the afternoon. There is Julia Maldonado now. There's a line drive. That is a foul ball. Just missed. It almost looked like it hit the glove of Keene, but that was not the case. Little tapper foul. outside. One and two to Maldonado. She pokes this one right at second base to throw back to first. It's going to be a double play. And that is a huge buzzkill for Camden County, as they looked like they had something going. Maldonado was really working out Catfelly there, but maybe this wasn't meant to be. That'll be a 4-3 double play. And on the first pitch, it's fouled back. We're on our last call here. Out number 21. Actually, wait a second. Yeah, it would be out number 21. Had to do my math. 7 times 3. 0-1 to count. SUNY Orange would improve to 4-3 in their 7th game of the year with a win. Camden County a little bit staggered in their scheduling game. In their first game of the year on opening day, in their first couple games of the year, as we said, Camden County plays, or would have played Dutchess tomorrow, or rather on Thursday the 21st. But that has been moved. And a ground ball out to second base to wrap up game one. It is scooped at first by Lindsey Keene, and the ball game is over. SUNY Orange wins 8-1 in game one, thanks to a couple of offense-propelled innings, 0 home runs from either side, as it was very different than what I thought, but SUNY Orange took a lead in the second and never looked back. Your player of the game, presented by Harper Driving School, is going to be Lindsey Keene, who reached base 3 out of her 4 times, went 2 for 3, and drove in a grand total of 3 runs in the ball game. We will be back in 15-20 minutes whenever this second game starts. Look for the separate Game 2 link on YouTube when that broadcast will start. From the entire DWB crew, we'll see you in just a little bit. If you're sticking around with us, 8-1, SUNY Orange wins their 4th game of 2024. We'll be back.